If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. Daisy Jones and the Six is an American musical drama television miniseries developed by Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber, based on the 2019 novel of the same name by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Set in Los Angeles music scene of the 1970s, the series charts the rise and fall of the fictional titular rock band through a documentary-style series of interviews with the members and footage of concerts and recording sessions complete with vocals by series leads Riley Keough and Sam Claflin. It also stars Camila Morrone, Suki Waterhouse, Will Harrison, Josh Whitehouse, and Sebastian Chacon as the band members. Daisy Jones and the Six premiered on Amazon Prime Video on March 3, 2023, and received generally positive reviews from critics. It earned multiple nominations at the 75th Primetime Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series, Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie for Keough, and Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie for Morrone. The story revolves around Daisy Jones and the Six and follows the rock band in the 1970s, from their rise in the LA music scene to becoming one of the most famous bands in the world, and explores the reasons behind their split at the height of their success. The Amazon Prime Video series is based on Taylor Jenkins Reid's book of the same name, which the author describes was partly inspired by her experience growing up and watching Fleetwood Mac performances on television. The single Regret Me from the fictional band in the series, Daisy Jones and the Six, was released on January 25, 2023. The second single, Look at Us Now, Honeycomb, was released on February 15, 2023. The full-length album, Aurora, was released by Atlantic Records on March 3, 2023. The album's lead vocals were performed by Riley Keough and Sam Claflin. It was composed and performed and produced by Blake Mills, with additional production by Tony Berg in collaboration with musicians such as Chris Weissman, Jackson Brown, Marcus Mumford, and Phoebe Bridgers. Some interesting trivia notes. Actor Sam Claflin initially overstated his musical experience. After an embarrassing audition using Elton John, Claflin was still in the running due to his acting talent and used the pandemic lockdown to work with vocal coaches and guitar teachers over Zoom. The change in his musical range from early audition to filming was described as dramatic. As mentioned earlier, the book in the series is based on and inspired by the author watching Fleetwood Mac concert Fleetwood Mac The Dance in 1997. The 1997 concert was the first for the band after Lindsey Buckingham, the lead male vocalist, guitarist and ex-boyfriend of lead singer Stevie Nicks, left the band in 1987. The concert was full of tension and looks between Nicks and Buckingham. Nicks later admitted through her songs the two had romantically reconnected during this time, building to an intense rendition of their song Silver Springs, with Nicks and Buckingham staring each other down and singing directly and emotionally to each other. Just a few songs later, Nicks would sing the song Landslide tenderly, with the two gazing at each other lovingly, with Buckingham becoming overwhelmed. The author of Daisy Jones was struck by this relationship and what had kept the fire burning between them for 40 years at the time, and was inspired to write the characters of Daisy Jones and Billy Dunn. Daisy and Billy's wardrobe in the series is even inspired by Nicks and Buckingham's clothing. Riley Keough auditioned for the role of Daisy Jones by singing a Fleetwood Mac song. Daisy is actually based on Fleetwood Mac's Stevie Nicks. Riley said that her mother, the late Melissa Marie Presley, partly inspired her performance as Daisy Jones. Presley passed away less than 2 months before the show aired. On August 15, 2023, Stevie Nicks, the inspiration for the character of Daisy Jones, shared on a social media that she had seen the show. She said, "Just finished watching Daisy Jones and the Six for the second time. In the beginning, it wasn't really my story, but Riley seamlessly soon became my story. It brought back many memories and made me feel like a ghost watching my own story. It was very emotional for me. I just wish Christy McVie could have seen it. She would have loved it, and hopefully it will continue." Christy McVie unfortunately lost her life on the 30th of November, 2022. McVie inspired Karen Serko, who is the British vocalist and keyboardist for the band. Like her real-life counterpart, Stevie Nicks, Daisy's name is a nickname. Daisy's real name is Margaret. Stevie's is Stephanie. Lindsey Buckingham is the inspiration for Billy Dunn, even named a song Stephanie after Nicks. Billy's unpredictable, intoxicated on-stage flirting with Daisy during the final show, in episode 10, was improvised by Sam Claflin. Riley Keough, who had knowledge of stage blocking for a musician through her mother and friends, showed Claflin how she would need to stand and perform with the microphone, and Claflin improvised his movements off that information. Claflin didn't tell Keough what he would do, which included wrapping his arms around her, pressing against her, trying to kiss her and pressing his face against hers, so Keough's reactions were genuine. From the teenager scenes through to the last Six concert, the guys in the band all basically keep their same hairstyles. They just get longer. But in the interview scenes, everybody's hair is different, except for Eddie's. This symbolizes his inability to move on from the past and forgive the grudges he still holds, as the interviews show. Some of the similarities between Daisy Jones and the Six and their real-life inspirations, like her real-life counterpart Stevie Nicks. Daisy Jones survives drug addiction to have a successful solo career. Like his real-life counterpart, Lindsey Buckingham, Billy's married to a photographer. Like his real-life counterpart, Mick Fleetwood, Warren Rojas stands out with fashion and has generally a sunny outlook. Like her real-life counterpart, the late Christy McVie, Karen Serko is a British piano player and singer. While the source material takes place 40 years after the events of the novel, the show opts to take place 20 years after circa 1997-98. Producers said this was done so that the actors could return for the potential Part 2 miniseries. Coincidentally, or perhaps not, Fleetwood Mac's The inspiration for Daisy Jones and the Six reunited the Rumours 5 in 1997 for their reunion concert, Fleetwood Mac, The Dance. Now this is one of those shows that somewhat confused me. There were so many aspects to the show that I quite enjoyed. Look, the acting is very good, but the characters can be very unlikable at times. The songs are catchy and entertaining, but they don't move you in any way and really don't compare to the real-life work, particularly that of Fleetwood Mac. For me, this show comes short of really invoking the rock star lifestyles that it sets out to portray. I would have preferred a show that actually focused on a real-life band. Why didn't they just make a show about the real-life Fleetwood Mac? For example, the making of Rumours is fraught with controversy and would be a fantastic and fascinating show. The two main leads here, Riley Keough and Sam Claflin, really do their best in their roles, and they have great chemistry. Keough really particularly impressed me in terms of her singing ability, where Claflin wasn't the greatest singer, but he pulled it off with his charm and charisma. Keough really looks at home on stage and finds a way to channel some of Nicks's physicality and flowing, eccentric style on stage. Look, there really isn't much of a story here. It really is just about a few people getting together, making a band, and then, of course, falling apart and breaking up. As I say, going behind the scenes of the real Fleetwood Mac would have been much more fascinating. I enjoyed the work here of Camila Morrone, the photographer who of course falls in love and is married to the very difficult Billy Dunn, and it's a strong performance from Camila. Some of the other band members though could have been a little bit better. Apart from Will Harrison as Graham Dunn, Billy's younger brother, Sebastian Chacon as Warren Rojas, and Nabea B as Simone Jackson as Daisy's former roommate and future disco singer, all the other characters are very much unlikable, particularly the two main leads, who I found could really get on my nerves at times. I love the costumes and the designs, and like I said, the show did keep me interested, but it really just doesn't really go anywhere. They try and throw a little twist in at the end, but the show really sort of just comes fully around. As you know the conclusion right at the start. You know that this band is never going to last and it's going to break up. And basically it's just about the will they or won't they between Daisy and Billy. As I said, the show is well made. The acting is good. The songs are likable, if not groundbreaking. But I just kind of felt that the whole show really went nowhere. And as I said earlier, I would have much preferred to see a show here that was darker, grittier, and about a real life rock band from the 1970s. As they say, truth is sometimes stranger in fiction and therefore can make for a much more fascinating and engaging tale. With its likeable performances, easy to listen soundtrack and fundamentally good story, Daisy Jones and the Six gets a 7.5 out of 10.